Hello, everybody, and welcome to this extra special episode of Pursuit of Motion. Now, I've been saying that for a long time. Practically every episode is special to me because I recognize the opportunity to be here. But this one in particular is I believe, of tremendous value to the people who will listen to it. So this is a new episode, a new series that I'm starting called Perspectives. And today we're going to get the perspective of a very important person here on campus, a newcomer, Dr. Lisa Watson, our dean. How are you doing today, Doc?
I'm really great. Thank you so much for having me. It's delighted. I'm just so excited to be on this campus and to have joined this community.
Likewise. That's exactly how I feel. And given that this is my fourth year, I'm here and you're just starting, it'll be exciting to share perspectives for sure. And really that's what it's about. I didn't even mean to leave that through. But my first question I have for you that I think really would be the appropriate one is, what got you into schooling in the first place? In terms of your undergrad, what inspired you, motivated you to go out and learn?
I think this is a really interesting question and maybe something that would be of inspiration to a lot of our undergraduates. I think they think deans and academics, we're all great, strong students with strong, aspirations to be in academia. I was the exact opposite. I had no intention of becoming an academic. I kind of fell into it. So I started my undergraduate education in psychology. I did it for a year. I was somewhat uninspired. I took a year off school, went back. I worked in a picture framing shop, framed that.
Oh, wow.
Over the course of my year, picture framing shop for a year. And then I went back and I decided to do business. More rewarding. I found it more applicable to my day-to-day life, but my grades were lackluster. I was almost put on academic probation in my first year. By the end, so by the time I was in my fourth year like you are, I think I found the thing that I was passionate about, was really, really interested in marketing. If you think about it, not that different than psychology, and really found my feet. But when it came time to go out into the workforce, someone instead said, have you ever thought about doing a master's degree? The answer was no, I haven't. They said, we have money. I was like, I don't have a job. You have money. This sounds like a great fit. And the rest is history.
What inspired you to take the move into university in the first place, I guess?
Oh, that's a great question. I think just expectation in many ways. My father was a general contractor. So my sister and I were first in family to go to university, actually. Wow. And he had very specifically, and maybe as a woman in business, this, hurt my heart a little bit. I asked him if I could take over the family business, and he said no. And he said no because he didn't want either of his daughters to come home dirty at the end of the night. So I was locked out of what I would have thought would have been a really great family entrepreneurial tradition. So off to university I went.
What trade was it in?
Just general contracting. Yeah. So construction, he built residential custom homes.
That's interesting. That's really a shame. But it seems like it brought you into this incredible position.
And you know what? He's so proud of me.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's good
100%.
to make your parents proud.
So what's it like being a dean? A lot of us have no idea. When I first came to school, this is a prestigious university. Yeah. People speak of the Ivory Tower, I believe. Mm-hmm. And this is an office I haven't entered in the first 3 years of my time being here. So what is it like being a dean?
Yeah. Well, I think maybe part of the question, if I'm hearing you, is what does a dean do?
Sure.
Yeah. Yes, so then what's it like being a dean?
I think both are important.
So, and I think lots of people don't really know. I think this, the way I like to sum it up is, if you take academic terms and just apply them to corporate terms, we have a president that's the CEO, we have a provost who is the COO, and we have deans that are fundamentally middle managers. So what do? I make sure that we have a faculty that is able to provide the best experience possible for our students who are our main constituent. At the same time, I also have to be advocating upwards for what we need in our faculty to be able to achieve that goal. And also, I guess, as a dean, I am part of senior leadership, so I have to be looking at the bigger picture strategy of the institution and saying, what did they need from me to make the entire institution successful and lift us up collectively?
Interesting. And so, I mean, this is, if it's senior management, there's got to be a serious vetting process. So, what do you think made you stand out?
That is when you are dealing with any person that has any level of humility, that's going to be a hard question to answer.
So true. So true.
It's a tricky question to
You know,
answer.
the hair probably helped. It's a bold statement and it looks great.
Thank you. And I've got hired as a dean twice with this hair and as an associate dean. So it hasn't held me back by any stretch of the imagination. It's a bit of a personal brand, I think. I would like to think that what got me into this particular role is my combined experience over my academic career. So once I left Carleton University and those 2 degrees, I did a PhD in Australia at a small community school, very much like this, except it was private, about 3,000 students. So that, I think, gave me a taste of what is important and special about a campus like this one. I spent the next several years, about over 15 years at University of Regina, working very closely with students and extracurriculars and just really understanding how both the inside and the outside of the classroom shape that student experience and how important it is. After that, I moved into doing some work with graduate studies. We don't have much graduate programming in this particular faculty, so that's an opportunity that I can bring and help explore. After that, I moved on to Athabasca University, which is fully online and serves a very, very different kind of student, right? So it's an open access university that offers opportunity to students that don't actually necessarily fit well at an institution like this. So being able to bring that online experience, think about diversity, equity, inclusion, and how we can bring more of that to this campus, or use our online resources to go to them, I think is also something that was attractive to the senior leadership. So I think every single piece of my journey is wrapped up into a nice little package of what I hope to be able to bring to StFX.
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
Now, what's it like doing all that?
It's fun, actually. So I'm not one to sit still. Academia tends to move slowly. It's a lot of collegial decision making. So getting the team together, deciding what direction we're all going to go in together, bring that innovation, watch people get excited, is something that excites and motivates me. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we're able to do in the next 6 years, at least, and then see if people are excited enough with what we've started to see if they want to give me another chance at another 6.
You know, there's something beautiful about the way life works, that we go through these different steps and we don't know where they're leading, and then everything feels like this is the moment that everything led to. And then in the future, hopefully, the feeling recurs, everything we're doing is fruitful. Now, I want to ask, if you're here for 6 years and clearly you've got the experience that's put some thought into what you're doing, what does your strategic direction look like? What can, as a student, we expect the experience to be like? I mean, clearly application numbers are way up, enrollment numbers are way up. It's one of the biggest years, as far as I'm aware, in StFX history. So what can we expect?
Well, I've already indicated change is slow in academia.
It is.
You, as a 4th-year student, might not get to see, a lot of the change that I hope that we'll bring. And again, academia, everything we do is collegial, right? So all of the faculty have to come together and vote on where we want to go next. So I have some ideas of things I would like us to have discussions about where we can go. But really a lot of what is going to drive what I do is getting a sense of where we collectively as a team are most interested in putting those resources, right? Because we might have 10 ideas, we can only afford to do 3. Which are those going to be? So we're going to start by looking at where are we now, right? And just laying it out for ourselves right in front of our faces and just starting to ask ourselves some questions that, when you've been in an institution for 10 years, maybe you've stopped thinking about them. And there are things that's just the way we do it. So really starting to say, well, why and what could we be doing instead? So my hope is to see some changes and shifts in curriculum and program structures and those types of things right away for students. I would like to start offering different kinds of supports to our faculty in terms of their research, and being able to support and elevate the research that they do as well, because that all comes back into our classrooms and also helps, just society in general. So that is something that I think we can spend a little bit more time on. I would like to engage with our alumni a lot more heavily, I think, than we're doing now. I would like to see how we can bring just professional development experiences to our alumni who have gone off out into the world and not necessarily had a good reason to come back to do further education with us. So those are some of just the initial first things I'd like to start talking about in the first year or two.
Wow.
And then there's enacting them, right? Which also takes a little bit of time. So.
It's a bold vision. It's exciting. There's a lot of things that you're discussing here. One thing, and we've discussed about this before, the importance of culture, particularly at StFX, where it seems like the community really has turned into something that is unique to this area. Big change. How is culture preserved through these changes? And I don't mean that as a hardball question. I'm really curious.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a good question. I guess it depends on how you're defining culture. Different people talk about culture in different ways. And you can stay true to your values, right? And that thing that makes you special while still adding to it. So the idea of a culture being consistent, even though you choose to do new and different things, I think is possible. Some people would question that and say, if we do something new, it might change who we are. It's a conversation to have, really, right? So what are those core values we're determined, right, to really hold on to? For me, open communication is a value that is very, very strong to me, which is why everything I do, I have to make sure that my 3 departments and my faculty are going to be on board. Authenticity is important. Listening to the needs of our constituency is important. EDI and sustainability are really, really key and important to me. So how do we bring all of that together in a way that everyone can see themselves in it and feel excited by it? I think is the way that we don't harm a culture, right? So what I don't want is people to feel fear or overwhelm, or that things are being forced on them that they're not motivated by. So ideally, there'll be something for everyone to get excited about. If that gets to a little bit to what you're talking about in terms of, a shift in culture that might be negative, is a bit of what I was sensing you were asking about.
I don't think negative, because I tend to be an optimist, and I think there are many things that every StFX student will tell you this school can improve on.
Okay.
I think there are many things, and that's not to take away from how amazing the institution is. I think we're all grateful for what it is, but as you said, you can add to without taking away from. Yeah. And you brought up the word values, which is exciting, because that was the last more serious point that I was going to ask about, was your values as a leader. And it seems like you said open communication and inclusion are really the 2 critical things. People need to know where you want to go. People need to feel like they have a role in it, like they have the autonomy to really succeed in their role within the vision, it seems like you said.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. And as someone, I believe I gravitate towards leadership. I believe I have a lot of, how do they say it? I'm cultivating the fields. You reap what you sow, and I'm toiling often, essentially. And I believe for me, leadership is firstly servitude, making sure everybody has what they need. It is about that clear vision. It's about, this is where we should be going. This is what would be ideal for us. And then, of course, leading by example. Leading by example. Now, everyone who knows me knows I may not be the first person who arrives, because, as I said, when you're in one field cultivating, you need to go to the other one. It takes time to get across, but they know I'm leaving last as well. Okay. And I think leading by example is something that, and it seems like from what you're saying, that those are values that we both share. Yeah, for sure.
I think that's true. One I would add, I think, as a leader is, and like my communication is one piece, but it's very important that my team feel free to feel safe to offer their thoughts and feel like they're being heard as well. So making sure that I'm cultivating a good working space, I guess, for the people around me is also something is very, very important.
You know, I want to go
to
into
me.
that actually, before we move past, because that's something I personally find is an impediment to progress in all the different things I work on. And that sometimes my surety can be intimidating, and people feel like Adnan knows exactly what he wants,
Yeah.
and so I'm not going to speak up. Whereas my personality type, I like when you throw when I can throw the kitchen sink at you and you can bat it away and tell me why I'm wrong, because now I know for a fact. And so sometimes it can come off as I'm not interested in hearing. Whereas I like to believe I'm the type of person who asks, what do you think? Hence perspectives,
Yeah.
right? But at the same time, I believe you speak assertively. People will trust you. Even if it's not correct. Not that I would go around saying incorrect things. Say what you believe, say it assertively. And if somebody disagrees, they've got the opportunity to tell you otherwise. And you listen and learn. That's what liberal arts education is about, right? So I definitely, what do you think I could do? How can a person move past that?
Yeah. And thank you for asking that question. It's got me thinking. And in my role, and I'm going to say, I would imagine gender might play a role in this as well. So we're probably sitting in very different seats when I offer my perspective on having done something similar to that. Is speaking confidently and speaking authoritatively is. I agree with you. It does gain trust, but it doesn't always gain that sense of safety for someone who's a little more introverted or not in a position of power to feel like they can question or offer a counter opinion. So I make a point of asking for them very overtly, right? What do you think? Who disagrees? What are we going to do? Just more explicitly. And over time, through consistency, right, of showing them who I am and seeing that I will listen, right, and am happy to hear those other perspectives. I think people come through and that's where they feel, we create that space where everyone starts to have a voice and is happy to have that broader conversation. But until then, it's usually only the other strong voices, right, that are really willing to step up and do that. I think of it as just more strong debate.
Exactly.
Right. But debate and that quiet, inclusive conversation, in my experience, are two very different things. So I feel like the softer approach is the way that I'm able to get more of those quieter junior faculty members, again, women, underserved communities feel a lot more comfortable joining that conversation.
Thank you for the insight.
So I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, and every space is different, right? You read every room different. Every set of people, are different, for sure. But yeah, it's going to take time. It's going to take some time to build that trust, build that space, build that community, and decide, what direction we're all going to head in. But the ideas are endless. I think the possibilities are endless, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we go.
I mean,
I'm looking forward to seeing where you go.
Oh, thank you. I mean, we're in a hub of thought, so there are plenty of ideas to go around for sure. And I think the type of person who would end such valuable insight with "I could be wrong" is the mark of humility, and I appreciate that. And within 6 years, this consistency you speak of will probably reward you with another term here as dean if you can really pull it off. Now, speaking outside of this institution, what are you passionate about? What do you like outside of school? Do you like music, movies, travel, food?
I love travel. Absolutely. I would call myself a bit of a foodie. I am rooted in my 1990s alt rock. I'm not going to lie. So I love music, but, I couldn't tell you, what the most popular rock bands are or whatever now. And that's not a surprise. There's actually psychology that says your musical taste locks in at about the age of 23. I may have just dated myself. Do some math.
I'm dated now too, 23.
So there you go. What you're listening to now is what you're probably going to love. Generally, that's what you're going to be drawn to forever. There you go. So
there we go.
So my style of music, it was mostly the Canadian indie bands of the 90s. Yeah.
So tragically hip would be a big one then for
It's
sure.
in there. Actually, I used to have a no hip rule in my car.
Really?
I'm not going to lie.
Is that so?
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, it was overplayed. So I
Mm.
liked some of the more underground ones, I think, probably, and more of the Celtic rock stuff, actually. So I loved the stuff that was coming out of the Maritimes.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Travel, where's your top 3 destinations?
Oh,
Either that you
my.
have been or want to. This is an open
Oh,
space.
I've spent almost no time in Europe. I would like to spend more time there. But my husband and I actually have a camper van. So I am really looking forward to next summer. Antigonish is perfectly located to just be able to disappear in 3 or 4 hours in every possible direction to explore the Maritimes. So right now, where I am is my top. Definitely my top place to visit. I go back to Australia to visit all the time.
Go back? Go back?
Oh, my PhD studies were in Australia.
Wow.
Yeah, so Bond University was on the Gold Coast of Australia.
That's cool.
It was pretty great. So I lived beachfront as a starving PhD student. So yeah, I was very, very blessed with that opportunity. And the other place that I loved more than anything to visit was the Galapagos Islands. So as you can see, I'm a little bit more of an outdoors person than I am a city person when it comes to travel.
Yeah, and that's the way to go, to really experience nature. Yeah. I think my girlfriend and I, we had the exact same experience as you did when we got here to the Maritimes, that we're just, and like 4 years, we've been going everywhere that we can. It's so beautiful. Nova Scotia, like there's so much here to enjoy. Mm-hmm. The amount of times that I've been locked in, stressed out or whatever I was working on, I need to hit this deadline. My girlfriend comes in and she said, let's go to the beach.
Nice.
And I just, especially the older I get, not to be like the older I get, but the more I say, yep, let's put it down. This stuff is not what it's about. I need to go be outside. And it's so refreshing. So I agree. The Maritimes are amazing. Yeah. I was born in Turkey. If you haven't had the opportunity to travel there, especially the Western region, Southwestern or Istanbul, these are the highly tourist areas. Mm-hmm. Unreal gorgeous, the best food you'll ever have. I think it's a very vibrant part of the world for sure.
Yeah. My sister has gone and she loved it. But I'm going to ask you a question.
Please.
So as the expert on local beaches, where are my top 3? Where should I be going?
Here? Oh, geez. So there's McDonald Beach, which is up towards Arisaig, if you're familiar. Okay. If you put it in your map, you'll be able to find it. But when you park, you'll say, how do I even get to this beach? It looks like a driveway. And that's the beautiful thing about the Maritimes, is if we were in Alberta, for example, where I live, and I needed to walk through someone's property, I might not want to, because it's their property. Mm-hmm. And it's not my right to go through it, even if there's a nice beach or river on the other side. And if I don't know them, I wouldn't. But in the Maritimes, it's different. People have an attitude towards not community, but a more higher social value in terms of connectedness. Yeah. And part of that could be that we're all in the hills and the valleys. Part of it could be that we are all so close to each other. But McDonald, you can walk right through the driveway. There's a big set of stairs and it's a big sand beach. I'll show you pictures after with a red sand sort of, I think enclave is the word, like around it. There's a big ridge. Okay. So it's like a protected little cove. Unreal. Bunch of little cottages there. Nice. There's Melmurby towards New Glasgow, which is a nice sand beach, gorgeous, one of like classic favorites. That's the one you'll find a lot of people there. Okay. Not always, naturally. Okay. And then I would say just anywhere Cape Breton. If you go to Cape Breton, you'll find like the most beautiful beach you've ever seen. There's a place called Gypsum Mines or something like that. It's a emerald green sort of, I don't know how to describe it. Like it's not like a canyon, but close to that. I see everybody taking pictures of that. I'm going to need to visit soon. So yeah, Nova Scotia is a gorgeous place, as long as they don't keep us out the forest, right? Yeah.
Well, yes, and that hindered my exploration a little bit this summer. So we'll see how it goes. But
in terms of travel as well, if you love camping, I don't know how you feel about America and traveling there. I understand that we're in a very elbows up time period.
I'm very elbows up, elbows up. Yep.
I think I am in terms of like values and beliefs, but in terms of travel, I mean, 80 miles an hour, 80 cents per liter of gas. I'm a student, I understand that I need to participate in the markets and I'm going to be smart about it. South Dakota, Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horse. I don't know if you're familiar. It's a massive, it's like Mount Rushmore, but it's an indigenous warrior
Yep.
and it's bigger than Rushmore.
Yep.
Great camping out there.
Okay.
Great camping in South Dakota. Maybe one day.
We'll see. If politics change, we'll see about going back to the States. I did go to Yellowstone a couple of years ago.
Wow.
With the van with a few friends, so we did venture into the States, but not since the change in presidency, and that's not going to change anytime soon for me. I'm doing my best to do the elbows up, buy Canadian, and
we've got everything we need here. And that's for damn sure. Now, I don't want to keep you too much longer. Let me ask a couple quick questions.
Sure.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Rain or sun?
Sun.
Books or movies?
Both.
Favorite movie?
Oh.
Top 3 then.
All right. Real Genius. Raiders of the Lost Ark. My husband's is Star Wars. For sure. What will I put in as my third? Oh, this is a lot of pressure.
Yeah, yes, it is.
A lot of pressure. I'll leave it at Real Genius.
That's fair.
Honestly, I'll just leave it. I can literally recite that movie.
Really?
Yeah, almost.
I'll have to watch it. Real Genius.
Yeah.
Real Genius.
It's a really bad, I think it might be even 1980s, Val Kilmer movie. From back in the day.
I will watch.
Yeah, it's about a bunch of genius university students that are unknowingly creating weapons for the military. It's just it's ridiculous.
That sounds really good.
It's ridiculous.
I have a movie night every week with my friends over because we're blessed to be in university and in such a chill environment. We will add Real Geniuses to the list.
All right. Well, don't expect high quality.
That is fine. That is fine. For me, it'll be Inglourious Bastards and The Real Short. Those will be my top 2 movies for sure.
All right.
Those will be my top 2 movies.
Well,
favorite book?
It's got to be Terry Pratchett, Last Continent.
Never heard of it. I will look it up. What's it about?
So Last Continent is part of the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. So it's an entire world that he's created. And The Last Continent is basically, again, it's about a bunch of academics that are creating evolution. And it's also at the same time about one of these wizards discovering Australia. All wrapped up in this weird fantasy world.
It's very cool.
It's very randomly weird. But he's a co-writer of Good Omens. With Neil Gaiman. If you've ever heard of Good Omens, they made a mini series, 2-year series about it, I think on Amazon.
I will look into it.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, what advice do you have for me? I want to do good in this world. I want to have a lot of children. I want to have a strong business career. I want to travel. What advice do you have for me?
First of all, do what makes you happy. And my sustainable side says always do good with what you're doing to the best of your ability. So economic, social, and environmental sustainability, there's no reason we can't build those into pretty much everything we do. So when you're traveling, how can you do it in a way that protects the environment instead of kills it? Look at Barcelona, right? It's imploding because it has too many tourists. So can we make better decisions while we're doing the things that we love? It's the same with business, social entrepreneurship, and social enterprise. You can always, build good practice into the business that you're running, and then just instill those values into your kids. I think that's what I would love to see this entire world be. If everyone managed to do that, we could get out of this mess that we've made of our world in 200 years, and see if we can't help support, the indigenous peoples of this world to restore our ecosystem back to what it was.
So true. It's been a great pleasure speaking with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Adnan. It was super fun.
It was very fun.
Yeah.
Thanks.